Yep.
Are we ready?
We're ready. All right,
Ready.
let's do this.
Welcome to Living in Florida podcast with Beth and Griff. We're here talking about how amazing Florida is.
Yep.
Don't we all agree?
Yes,
Absolutely.
and we cover Florida headlines, go over some real estate information, which happens to be our job. And as a bonus on today's show, if you're stuck in a snow blizzard, and there's a good chance you are if you live up north, and hopefully you are listening to our podcast, we will probably make fun of you for paying state income taxes along with freezing to death at the same time.
Because it's not freezing here.
Nope. What is it outside right now?
Oh, it's about 76, sunny, perfect beach weather.
Yeah.
Yep.
In fact, our cat's laying out next to the pool getting a tan as we speak right now.
Yeah, let's hope he isn't mad we ran out of sunblock, though.
Yeah. The cat's pretty fussy. He's got it so good here with the nice pool and the beautiful tropical
It's a cool cat.
effect. Yeah,
He is a cool cat.
Yeah. He complains though. You run out of towels or suntan lotion at the pool. So not that we live in a mansion with a pool with towels outside, but we do have suntan lotion.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Hence why our kids are always getting sunburned.
Oh, goodness. But it is absolutely beautiful out today. And sorry that you're stuck in your blizzard. We sell houses in Florida, so, come down and join us.
Yeah. Call us. We'll get you out of there. So, and speaking of freezing and wanting to move out of the north, that's why we have our guest on today, Todd Hanley, the loan originator with Cross Country Mortgages.
Welcome, Todd.
Yeah.
Thank
welcome.
you, guys. It's a real pleasure being here. I really appreciate the opportunity to be on your show.
Oh, awesome. Thanks for coming. So we brought Todd on to go over a couple things, go into some mortgage information, what's going to happen with some rates, and show you how simple it is to get pre-approval.
Absolutely.
So-
Because coming into 2024, I want to hear your predictions.
I got some good ones for you.
Yeah.
So all about this segment, it's cold outside, but not in Florida. Few weather comparisons.
Yeah, we're going to give you a few comparisons to motivate you. And power to the people. A follow-up from our condo segment from the last show. There's a new bill introduced in the Florida State Senate that's going to give the residents and homeowners inside of the condos and HOAs a lot more power to fight HOAs. Because currently it's kind of weird. HOAs have the upper hand against the homeowners, and there's very little they could do. In the state's requirements for when they step in for egregious things is pretty low. The threshold's the threshold's really high. Like a lot of really bad stuff has to be going on for the state to get involved.
But that's
And
changing.
This is just a bill introduced. Will it get killed? We don't know. There's lots of lobbying on this back and forth, but it's a really good start. And
It is a good starting
This
point.
bill actually has some traction, it sounds like. So we're going to share a couple things from that with you. And then Todd's going to cover mortgage rates.
Mortgage rates, where are they going to go in 2024?
Yeah, got to stay tuned to find out.
And there's one simple thing that if you're going to buy a house or even sell a house, we're going to go over those two.
Yeah, and it's so easy, and it's going to remove all your stress, your effort, or increase your effort for when you're actually shopping, and keep everything really easy and smooth for you. So that'll be a really good point too. So as usual, if you have any questions, leave a comment down below, and we will respond with that. And if you're enjoying the show, please give us a like and hit subscribe. We're on YouTube at Living in Florida with Beth and Griff. This video podcast is hosted there, and on regular podcast platforms across the network for just the audio. So check us out, and please subscribe wherever you can.
All the links are below.
Yep.
In cold weather news, me back to the cold weather.
Yeah,
'cause
segment. This is the segment one, cold weather news. This is just having some fun here today.
the whole entire north half of the country is being pounded by winter storms right now. I mean, I'm used to saying tropical storm,
Yeah.
but no, this is actually like a blizzard. I don't know what those
And
are.
that's why we brought Todd in too, because people don't realize he is from the
Buffalo, New York.
the
Wow.
far northern reaches.
You can't
of the
mention
country.
Buffalo without people thinking snow.
This is
Yeah.
true. We have some family up there. We just send them pictures of the kids in the pool in the middle of December and
Yeah, they don't like that.
the cat laying by getting a
Yeah,
suntan.
the cat getting
No, they're not very
suntan.
happy with my
No.
photos. But you know what I tell them? Just, come join us here in Florida.
It's always an option.
That it is always an option.
Yeah,
considering
and speaking of the Bills, people don't realize I'm the same size as Josh Allen, the quarterback for the Bills. I'm 6'5" and 265.
Oh,
Interesting.
right.
Yeah,
Well, that's
I
interesting.
just don't have a $200 million a year contract.
No,
Nope.
But You know how cold it's going to be at the Dolphin game on Saturday?
20 degrees?
Oh, no. Try -6.
Come on.
Yeah.
And that's what,
We're-
Kansas City we're playing?
Yes,
Ooh,
Kansas
Dolphins are
City.
playing
Isn't that
Kansas City.
Taylor Swift's team?
Yeah.
Yes,
you're right.
yeah.
Interesting.
Negative. I wonder what she's going to
Eek.
be wearing though to stay
I don't
warm.
know. Taylor, you need that big house in Palm Beach?
Coming to warm up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, enough about football and cold
I think
weather.
I'm actually bigger than Kelsey. if you do the stats.
Oh,
so
geez. Here we go.
call me. Yeah, don't listen, Beth. Call me.
Power to the people.
Even though Todd looks better than me, don't call him. Just call me. He'll write you the loan, though.
I don't think Taylor
I
Swift
don't
needs
think
a
Taylor
loan.
needs a loan.
Probably not. I hope she doesn't.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right. So now back to real business here. I want more details about Power to the People.
Yeah.
This new proposal at
Yeah.
the legislation.
So since it's nice and warm here, we could talk about this because this affects us here in Florida.
It does.
Yeah, so Power to the People. This is some new proposed legislation that's going on in the Senate in Florida. And now this is just proposed. It's a long way away from anything being real. And they've tried this a couple other times and it's been killed before. But this one has a little bit of traction with everything going on with the extremely high insurance costs from the storms and the Surfside bill, the 719
Yes.
0.12 or 112 that is adding all the extras on that we covered in our last show. So go check that out. Some really good information. If you are remotely thinking of buying a condo, you have to watch that episode. We'll link it below. And if you currently live in one, you have to watch that too, because you can end up getting priced out of where you already own a house outright or your condo outright. So definitely check that out. All right, so this article I'm going to quote from is from the Sun Sentinel from January 9th, and it's titled, simply titled, "The Bill Would Give Condo Owners More Rights and Crack Down on Board Misconduct." So the link for this article is down below. Read this whole article. It's really short and really good information. But basically, it's just going to provide real simple common sense for people that live in HOAs, because currently it's really hard to get documents from an HOA, which we know firsthand, dealing with them constantly. Todd,
It could be like pulling teeth sometimes.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, and we
Without Novocaine.
Yeah, and the worst
Yeah.
part for Todd is like somebody is waiting on that loan to close to get funding, and it's a simple sheet of paper
Right. That
that
usually I have to go yell and holler and knock on people's doors to get. And it should be just available to all of us because it's not rocket science.
Yep.
It's one form that one HOA person is holding on to. And it just kind of makes our life a
they're
little
just
complicated.
Too lazy to email or
Yeah.
send it off
Or sometimes their board meets on the last Thursday of each month.
Right.
And that's the only time for them to meet with you. And
Yeah.
it doesn't coincide well with the closing date. And,
Nope.
well, now you got to wait a week.
Yeah, now we're waiting a week.
Yeah.
And
So
sometimes they forget to address it in the meeting, and then you have to wait 30 days.
It- it's-
Yeah,
it's-
how many
not that
board
often, but
meetings-
That has
happens.
happened.
yeah, how many
happens
board
once
meetings
or
have I
twice.
had to go to get our clients' paperwork taken care of on the
Yeah,
spot?
we'll actually just show up at the board meeting.
Yep.
And,
Yep,
it's
and
kinda-
get
gotta
everything
do what you gotta
signed.
do.
And I'm a little crazy like that. It's fun. It's actually the legislation would propose condo complexes with at least 25 units to post documents online.
Yeah,
So
before it was
that makes perfect
150
sense.
unit
Oh,
minimum
wow.
to be
Yes.
required online. So
Yep.
That's a
that
great
will
improvement.
help out a lot. So this bill also addresses, would address the board's ability to hide behind defamation lawsuits where
Wow.
they're,
Interesting.
a lot of people don't know this, but it's really hard as being a homeowner inside of a condo or HOA, and the board is doing stuff that's stifling you or making it hard on everybody to sue them, because the board kind of gets like a benefit bonus from the defamation lawsuits and the threat of defamation, because you're basically smearing another resident in the neighborhood, even though they're on the board, is so strong that a lot of people don't pursue damages for reckless actions the board has taken. And the other part of this, the state will have to get involved at a much lower threshold for misdoings and wronggoings going on from the board. So it has a whole lot of good information. It's on the Sun Sentinel. Links below. Go read this article.
Progress we need.
Yeah.
Okay, so Todd, tell me about the current mortgage rates, because I know what the market's doing in the real estate world. But go over with us, what do you expect for 2024 as far as rates go?
Well, I think everybody expects rates to go down because I can't find any other narrative out there other than rates are going down this year,
Okay.
which is somewhat concerning because remember last year, everybody said that we're going to have a recession and that rates were going to go down, but they all went up.
Okay.
So, but what has already happened so far, I think, is the most important piece. So, in expectation of the Federal Reserve lowering interest rates next year and a cooling economy,
Okay.
you've already seen mortgage rates drop a full 1.3%,
Wow.
which has been a huge, huge decrease. In fact, there are some statistics out there from the National Association of Realtors that says for every 1 point that rates drop, that will bring in 5 million eligible buyers.
Okay.
5 million for 1 point. And that's nationwide.
That's
5
1
million,
point.
1 point.
That brings up the point of when we get these phone calls of, oh, I'm going to wait till the market drops. That's not happening in South Florida because
Yeah.
how many people are moving
And a
here?
lot of people are stuck on that. They're like, well, I'm going to wait for the rates to drop. And they're
Well-
insulted when they come home shopping. Like, oh, well, in 6 months, this house will be worth $50,000 less. And it's,
And we don't see that.
sorry, through the worst of the mortgage rates in what quarter, like third quarter last year, at what, 8% we maxed out?
Yeah, we even,
almost?
I mean, there were some people who were above 8%.
Yeah,
But
and-
what we need to ask those people is where did they buy their crystal ball?
Right.
Yeah.
Because
No, but
I want to know.
yeah. So, but yeah. And guess what? Houses did the whole time, even with 8%.
The lock-in effect, yeah.
Yeah.
They kept ticking up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we're seeing that
the
in
values.
24 already. Houses are still
Yeah,
ticking
so
up.
everyone's expectations last year were completely falsely put to rest that, sorry, that's not what happened. But it caused a lot of people to be complacent and be convinced that property values were going down and rates were going down and that would give them a better buying opportunity. But we all know the complete opposite happened.
Complete opposite.
In fact, now some of those people who waited, they're not even eligible to buy because affordability got worse.
yes.
But the ones who were waiting, I've had some people who waited a year and a half, 2 years. They're finally threw in the white towel, and I locked one person at 7.75% that even shot rates up for better credit. So they got double whacked for waiting, some of these people. But they saw that property values weren't going down the way everybody thought they were. And
Right.
they're like, listen, we need to make a move or else the train's going to leave without us.
Yeah, and to put that into perspective, for example, when we sell a house in a neighborhood, of course, we're always getting our seller's top dollar for that. But the reality is now the house next door, 3 months later, when that comes on the market, it's now significantly stronger because we just sold the house next door at a very good number. So these are the things that this is like on the ground reality is every house goes up in value every few months.
Yeah, at least in Florida. Other parts of the country has had decreases, but even those are not huge. But in Florida, everybody's moving here every day.
Yes.
We just had a customer from Canada, Alberta, I believe.
No,
New Brunswick?
New Brunswick.
New
Yes.
Brunswick, and their home values there are like multiplying by like 10% a day. It's
Wow.
absolutely insane.
Yeah, isn't it like
Starter-
$1.3 million?
Starter detached single family homes are starting in the low ones.
Wow.
Yeah.
To
That's
1.5.
incredible.
And
So-
it's absolutely insane.
Their dollar may be a little bit, or not as strong as the U.S. dollar.
Yeah, they're tapping out and coming here because if they sell for 1.2, do the exchange rate, and you come here and buy a house for $700,000 in beautiful sunny South Florida, Orlando, I-4 corridor, Tampa, Sarasota, 800 miles of beaches you get to choose from living on. They're happy, and
Wow.
that's what's keeping our home values inflated here, and no end in sight.
Well, Florida it is the highest state, or is the state with the highest migration
Yes, it
from
is.
from other states.
And
which
that
is-
link, we just did that on our last show. In fact, we did the whole country migration and how strong it is.
Interesting.
And check out our last episode. The link will be below here for that segment. It's amazing the numbers, right? I mean, just
It
the
really
Northeast is emptying out. The West Coast is emptying out. The West Coast, at least, there's Texas between here and
Yeah.
the West Coast. So a lot of people stop in Texas and don't leave, and then the rest get here.
but then we've had a lot of people from Texas,
Oh,
right?
yes.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. A lot of people from
I
Texas.
see
'cause
license plates from Texas all over.
Same
Yeah.
here, because their values shot up from the West Coast. People coming, and
They come to Florida.
they come to Florida because we're
Yes.
still a
Interesting.
little bit better of a deal than Texas, especially if we don't want to live in the desert.
But to touch more on interest rates, right? So
Right.
expectations are already built into where we're at, right? We went down
Correct.
1.3%. We're kind of sitting stagnant for the last week or two. And now we had an inflation report come out this morning, a little bit stronger than expectations.
Yes.
but we're still holding in that area of, high sixes. We're still below 7, which is great news because once again, that makes affordability better, makes more people
Absolutely.
eligible to buy. But moving forward into the rest of the year, we need the expectations to be substantiated with economic data, right? Weaker inflation. The jobs market is still strong. There's still exponentially more jobs open now than there were pre-pandemic. And that's just keeping inflation a little bit tighter. So the factors to watch are shelter inflation, which is, how much does it cost to rent out a house? How much are rents? Those are lagging indicators, but they're starting to come down. But that's really what's keeping inflation a little bit higher. But as we progress into the year, we should keep going lower, right? But as I think right now, I think expectations are built in. So we need more data to support rates going lower. Hopefully we'll get it. And then Griff, I wanted to show this one chart
I'm
here
pull
too.
this chart up here on the screen.
So
for
this
you.
chart here I made this morning. So this chart here, the biggest topic that economists and most analysts in the mortgage and finance industry are talking about is the Fed's balance sheet. And how does the Fed's balance sheet equate to what mortgage rates are doing? Well, it's called quantitative easing and quantitative tightening. I don't mean to kill you guys with all this technical jargon, but there's really no other way to talk about this, but it's really important. So the Fed's balance sheet grew exponentially, came down a little bit before pandemic, and then shot up real high during the pandemic, right? Because the Fed was supporting financial markets.
Okay.
By them supporting financial markets, it brought a major component of mortgage rates down a lot called the spread, right? So you have the yield on the 10-year, which is a measurement that helps determine mortgage rates. On top of the yield is the spread. And that's basically like a compensation to investors who are buying mortgage-backed securities, right? So
because in order for them to buy the securities, they have to have some return to take the risk.
there's got to be an ROI. There's got to be a return on investment. Things have to make sense. The same way when people are buying houses, they have to make sense, right? So for investors to buy these mortgage-backed securities, the spread got wider so that there's actually demand and people can buy this debt. Well, those spreads are wider, but it's coming down now. And it's coming down quite significantly. We're down almost 0.6%, which is a lot. It's almost 3/4 of a point on the interest rate. So as spreads lower and the yield lowers, as we're going to go more into the year, you're going to see mortgage rates drop potentially down to 5.7%. So this chart here shows, right? So you see this black and white arrow. That's traditionally in the green. That's traditionally where the spread exists over time, right? That's usually where it is, from 1.15 to 2.25. The highest was November of 2022 at 3.27. That's a huge increase from where the spread was normally. The lowest in last year was 2.46, right? So you can see if we just go back to last year's low on the spread and last year's low on the 10-year yield, we're at 5.7%.
Wow.
Now you add in the quantitative tightening slowing down, which is the Fed balance sheet. Just, they're going to stop depleting it. You could see mortgage rates even go lower. But I don't want to make too many forecasts because it's impossible.
It's just, but most of the big industry people are saying we are heading to the 5s.
They are
pretty,
and they could just be looking at what I'm looking at, because these are actual charts and measurements that all major economists look at, and it's just taking two things and adding them together, and you get 5.7%. So I think that's a good number to focus on for this year. I think that's where we could get
a lot of buyers back into the market. We're talking.
So 1 point is how many?
Yeah, so 1 point's 5 million, right? So that's 10 million plus 0.3. That's like 11.5. Yeah, 11.5 million.
If you think home values are going up right now in Florida, just wait if we hit 5s again. It's going to be a
it's going to be that's
21 all over again, right?
Yeah, exactly. Heading back to 21.
Because there's so much pent up demand. I mean, so much pent up demand.
Yes, and even though we have slightly more inventory, because there are some people that are retiring or they're making some other adjustments.
Overall, inventory is low compared to 2 years ago.
Sure.
It's
hugely
tremendously low. Do we have more inventory than we did this time last year? Like 5%.
Yeah.
It's not
much.
many.
Yeah.
But the crazy part is if we get all those buyers back into the market, most of our homes right now still get multiple offers, but they're more of reasonable multiple offers, like within, say, $10,000 of each other.
Sure.
Where before, during the pandemic,
which we
waiving
covered on the last
appraisal,
show.
We covered on
waiving
the last show.
inspections,
Oh,
40, 50
people-
above appraisal.
People would show up at open houses and be like, how much does it take me to get this house right now, this minute?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, on a house that was 900,000 or $1 million, it would be 1-2
Cash.
guarantees it.
Yep.
And most of the time it was mostly cash or all cash. And they were leaving the Northeast, most of the people, or California. They were able to move out before they even got their other property sold. And they wanted to change right then and there. They were done. They got stuck in lockdowns and all other kinds of COVID craziness. And they were gone. And that just drove prices through the roof because all of a sudden 2 houses on the street sold for $200,000 more than they should have. And it never stopped. And we were ending up at 1.6, 1.8 in this neighborhood that traditionally sold for $800,000 right before COVID.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was how much, like certain desirable neighborhoods, the appreciation from COVID almost doubled their home value.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
incredible. But the cool part about where we are right now is there still demand? There absolutely is. So in reference to the market, Todd, even though inventory's lower, rates have come down, our buyers are anxious to get into homes.
Yes.
Working together and making those deals happen is the beauty behind the scenes.
The magic.
Because that magic wins our clients' bids.
Yep.
It gets them under contract.
And that leads right into, if you're on the fence thinking, I'm going to wait till houses go down, interest rates are still kind of up there. It's not happening in Florida. It might happen in some other parts of the country for a little bit right now. But in Florida, the exact opposite is happening. No matter what interest rates have done, along with inflation, home values have appreciated. So far, first quarter this year, we're looking at 6% increase in home values in Florida.
Yes.
We're already slightly up in the week just started for the new year. So, and getting to know somebody like Todd with a large company like Cross Country backing him is really important if you're on the fence thinking about buying, because you may just not know what you could actually afford and how affordable it might be to you.
And how easy the process is to get a pre-approval.
Yes.
Todd makes your life extremely easy when it comes to this. I mean, he can send you just a link and you can start the process. How easy you make their life for getting a pre-approval. We're not walking into a bank.
Yep.
You're not shuffling in paperwork. I mean, you really make the process very, very simple.
I appreciate that. It's, because you got to make it simple. It's not that complex. Talking to people about their goals, their desires, and figuring out a solution to help them be a homeowner. And it's really just about asking the right questions. But pre-approvals can happen within an hour. I mean, if someone's motivated, they have their documents ready to go, and they're dialed into their income and assets and what it takes to get qualified, it can happen very quickly. But one thing I did want to express very importantly is that it is so much more important to know than to not know, right?
100%.
The fear, the unknown, the anxiety, the what ifs, get that stuff out of the way and call me, because I can have all of your questions answered very accurately, properly set your expectations, and clear up a lot of the fear and anxiety you're probably experiencing. Yeah. And if I can't get you approved, I will give you a roadmap of exactly what to do to get to where you need to be.
Exactly.
And I've had so many people call me back 2 years later, Todd, I did everything you told me to do. And they're homeowners now.
Yeah.
And I have goosebumps literally thinking about it, because you're like, wow, I just allowed that person to become a homeowner.
It's true.
And if they called maybe some online bank that, the person is just
never
there taking orders and, wants to go home and play video games when he's done and not actually research the market and be educated more, that's the end result you have, so.
If you're on the fence because you think it's going to affect your credit, it's just a soft credit pull.
It's a soft pull,
Does not
so
affect you at all.
It's literally the most non-evasive process there is, because there's no repercussions on credit. I can still issue a pre-approval.
Okay, so say you're on Zillow, you're on Realtor, and you find that dream home and you call me and you're like, Beth, this is it. Okay, we should have had the game plan put together before this, but okay, it's go time. So that's when Todd and I immediately get on the phone. I'm going to send you over to Todd. He's going to call you, and guess what? Going to go through the pre-approval immediately.
Yep.
We kind of work 24/7 around here. So even if it's a weekend, even if it's 10 o'clock at night, we're going to make this happen for you.
Yeah,
so walk us through that process, Todd, of getting somebody pre-qualified for their dream home.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're like on-call surgeons to, help you get to be a homeowner, right? We got to go in and make sure things are working. But it's really easy to do a pre-approval, right? You call me up, and depending on your source of income, if you're W-2 pay stubs, I mean, you could literally send me pay stubs. I can have you pre-approved within a half hour, 45 minutes. If you have tax returns, I'm capable of making that determination right on the spot as well. So maybe another half hour, 45 minutes. But either way, if you're motivated to get pre-approved, I can have it in your hands within hours, at least that same day, right? Sometimes I need documents from you. Sometimes I can pull them online and I can access, some of the income stuff on our end, which makes your life even easier. But just having the ability to evaluate the income, the assets, and ask the right questions allows me to then get aggressive on a timeline, sometimes without an underwriter looking at it, because I have that experience. So if it's a Saturday and we need to put that offer in a multiple offer situation, I can make that determination with my experience, just evaluating income, asking the right questions, and knowing that we have a solid process and deal here, and we can push forward very quickly.
Yeah, but even better than waiting to the last minute, do it ahead of time. So
correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The knowing versus not knowing is so important.
Oh,
it really
so
is.
important. In fact, Todd, remember a few months ago when we helped one of our favorite clients, actually, of all time, move from South Florida up to the Orlando area because they were being transferred. And so I met with them because we're going to list their house. We need to see what you qualify for your new purchase. They had been here for a few years, had some good equity. I immediately got on the phone with Todd while I was sitting there at their kitchen table, and he pre-qualified them right then and there on the spot.
Yep. PDF emailed to us.
Literally. So we knew what our buying power would be when we went to the Orlando area, which gave us leverage for selling their home here.
Absolutely.
And making that deal happen.
Yeah. So in fact, that transaction, we were under contract on their house in Central Florida before even listing their house here. Something really important, having this information ahead of time and having a relationship already built with a lender like Todd, and then backed by a huge company like Cross Country, and then having an epic agent like Beth and myself helping you, is we have the relationship, we have everything in place for you. But because of Todd and the company and how he was able to get that pre-approval done, it got us to get them under contract. All those things are just extra multipliers. So when you have a team like us, a lot of times, people don't realize they end up saving money hiring really good quality realtor and having a really good mortgage person, because our ability to package this together, communicate it, and negotiate on your behalf gets you the house you want at the time you want. And a lot of times, we can negotiate that down a little bit because of the leverage we have by having Todd, our reputations, our previous histories. And the same thing with Todd, his reputation, all the loans he's written. It's obvious when he says it's going to go to close, it always goes to close.
The team experience, I think, is that's the difference maker, because you hear about other people's experiences where they maybe didn't have a strong loan officer, or they didn't have a strong agent, and you hear about the opportunities they either missed or the mistakes that were made.
Yes,
and
the missed opportunities are
it's
horrible.
just a night and day experience, So the people who work with us and our clients, they're getting the best of the best. They're getting the best knowledge, the most aggressive approach, the best expectation set, the best answers to their questions. And that just wholeheartedly makes the whole process that much smoother, more successful. And like you said, saves them money at the end of the day.
Oh, it does.
Because you're not going out looking at multiple homes. You're not wasting money on multiple appraisals and inspections.
Right.
You're finding the one, we're getting it accepted with an aggressive approach, a substantiated pre-approval letter. I call the listing agent. Let them know that everything is solid, ready to go.
Yeah, if your loan person is not calling the other party, you're already behind.
In a mess.
You're already behind the eight ball. With a properly done offer that has a loan, we can compete against cash.
We can beat cash.
We can beat cash.
We can beat
several
cash
times.
a lot of times because we could actually have 2-day inspection periods. Loan approval is what's our fastest loan approval.
And we could do 3 to 5 days if I had to. We could do my close guarantee, and we're waiving the loan approval, right? Because if I give a $5,000 or $25,000 close guarantee, we're not backing out because of loan approval, because then we're paying, the branch, us, is paying that money. And we've never paid it once, because we've always successfully closed. So essentially, we're going in sometimes with no loan approval.
Having a team gets you exactly where you want to be.
Yeah.
Saves you time, money, stress, aggravation. And that is priceless, because if you find that perfect property and it's gone, it's painful to buy another one. So once that expectation of what you want is gone, it's over. So,
and it's the largest, most significant financial transaction most people are going to make. Make sure you're working with a team who knows what they're doing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And banks have their place, the big name banks, but something you cannot get is the responsiveness from some of those big places.
Todd, how many times have I called you at 9:30 at night?
We've had to have a lot of people flip out of a bank that had started a loan process there, because we have 48 hours before responses a lot of times.
Yes.
And that's having the phone number to the person directly, their loan originator.
I have a loan right now I'm taking from a very large bank because his credit has a collection on it, and they're refusing to help him fix that collection and raise his score back up.
Okay,
and that's something I can do in 24 hours.
I know we've done that before.
Yeah.
It's a regular thing I do. I would do it even if hey, let me get your score 20 points higher to reduce your mortgage insurance premium. If I can help a client, I'm going to do it.
Absolutely.
If I can take you from a 780 to an 800 because it lowers your mortgage insurance, let's do it. Saves you money.
And that brings us back to, this is all about you.
Yes.
This is not about us. This is about you, your family, your goals, what you want to achieve. We're here to help you facilitate that. This is about what dreams you have and how can we help you.
The thrill of getting it done. And like, we get in, here's our offer. We're under contract in under 24 hours without the house even being sold. Do the negotiation on the buy for the house we do want for them. And then we actually negotiated their sell substantially, because it was the only house in the area and it was in high demand.
Yeah, so we made them $35,000 in addition.
I that specifically
remember
now.
that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So
and we closed that loan 4 days early.
Yeah. I do remember that, but I remember now specifically the price you got for their sale.
Yeah, because it eased all their stress for everything. Yeah, it took off. Yeah.
So that was an awesome one. That goes down in the record book for just being a fun transaction.
But yeah, so it's that simple, folks. Get a team ahead of time. And if you're just even thinking about it, call Todd, the loan originator.
The loan originator.
the loan originator. See. Can we trademark the term loan originator? Too broad public domain. All right. Okay, great. I just spent $200. To find out if you're remotely thinking about it, it's effortless. It's 15 minutes. It's just like Geico. A 15-minute call with Todd can save you literally millions in stress and headache and wondering and guessing. So you're paying rent. You're getting hurt in the long run, because after a couple of years, you're really missing out on a huge chunk of equity that would have gone into your house. Differences in the home loan amount versus the mortgage rate interest. So let's say like from a year ago, we had a $400,000 house.
Yep.
But 1 year ago, our rates were at,
probably somewhere around, last year we were in the fives at one point. So you could almost use the 400 at 5.5.
So
2271. And then now, we had at least.
So we have appreciated
10%, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
single
I
families.
think it's about 8% single family for South Florida and Orlando area.
So that would put you up to close to the 440. Rates are a hair under 7, so 2854 minus 2271, and it's almost $570 bucks, right? 580, yeah.
So 600. So your payment is now $600 a month more.
Not to mention it was even higher, but because rates came down, So
there was a point where if it was 6 months ago, you would have been dramatically higher. So, sitting on the fence with everything going on in the world with South Florida, how busy we are, the demand, people exiting the Northeast because of the cold, COVID craziness, taxes. Same thing with California, all the COVID craziness over there and taxes. They're pouring to Florida. Florida and Texas are the hot spots. If you're sitting on the fence, get jumping a little bit sooner.
Yep, absolutely. And with that being said, we work a lot. More like 24/7. I don't know if we actually ever take any time off. We are available. Feel free to reach out. All the contact links are below.
Comment, like, subscribe. In fact, a lot of times we save the person on the other side of the table when we're selling, even though it's not our client, because that deal's falling through because of their horrible lending experience going on. So to keep the deal together for our client that we're selling the house for, we would hate to see that person walk away from the deal because they can't get that loan commitment. Basically, it sounds like you have everything in place with one little thing off.
We pivot to Todd.
We send them right to Todd.
Yep.
And Todd takes it over, and like 48 hours later.
Yeah, I can usually have an answer quite quickly.
On that rescue loan, a lot of times we'll just have our seller extend the contract by another week because it's only how many days on a
3-4 days sometimes.
Yeah. So
slam them through quickly.
If you suddenly can't buy that house you were in love with, and you get to a good loan originator in less than a week, you're back on track to what you want.
Absolutely.
And the same thing happens with having a team like us and a powerful loan person like Todd. The sellers are going to be more inclined to, well, we're already here at the table. Why walk away?
That's
They've
right.
gone to a seriously reputable person that gets the job done. So we'll extend it by a week. Maybe we'll charge you $1,000 in rent or something. But you get to keep that property that you want to buy. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep the deal
And with
going.
that being said, we're always available. Reach out to us, contact us. All the contact information is down below. Hit that like and subscribe button so that you can see more of our podcast and our videos all about buying and selling in Florida.
Thanks, Todd, for joining us.
Thank you guys. It was real fun.
Till next time.
Till next time, bye.
Bye, everyone.